Hi, my name is Paige Phillips, and this is Module 9 for AEP 855 Educational Leadership. So first is the background of the case. So this case takes place at Rocket Junior High with 900 students in a metropolitan area. Our people involved are Richard Inman, who is a first-year assistant principal, and James, who is a 15-year-old boy. He's from the South Side. He's described as muscular, heavily tattooed, and is seen as a leader of his group of friends. And then we also have David, who is a 13-year-old boy. He's kind of the opposite. He is an honors student. He's in the band, and he is seen as a generally good student. So the problem at hand is that there is an incident in the hallway which a teacher saw James hand something to David. She wasn't sure what it was. She did think it was drugs, but she said that David nervously took it, and the teacher immediately called Richard, the assistant principal, when she saw this. Once Richard got the call, he had the students escorted down to the office by a security officer or police officer. Once they were in there, he called both students into the office at the same time. They searched David's bag and found brass knuckles. James did admit that they were his brass knuckles and that he made David hold them for him so that he could use them later. And even though James does admit this, the officer says that he has to charge both kids with a felony possession. And then the district policy also says that the students have to be suspended for no less than 45 days. The officer then takes the boys both to a youth detention facility. And after this, James's mother and David's mother are called to the office to talk to Richard. James's mother, her response was like, good, maybe he'll learn something from this at this time. So we can tell from that this isn't his first incident, something like this. But David's mother, however, she's distraught. She cannot believe this is happening. She says that he would never do something like this, that he's innocent. And so Richard does have to fill out paperwork on James so that he can be expelled, but he says he can't bring himself to do it for David. And so a week later, David is back in class, but James is at the detention center. And then Richard gets a call from the director of secondary education telling him that he does have to follow through with the paperwork to expel David because that is district policy. And Richard's response is that he cannot follow the policy. His supervisor understood why, but he says that he will have to file an official reprimand on Richard because he did not follow the district policy. So some legal or ethical issues that are at hand. So right now, no one has been actually physically harmed by the actions that took place in the hallway. However, the object, the brass knuckles, are illegal and against district policy. So there was a breach of school guidelines by bringing this objects to school in the first place. And then James does admit that he forced David to hold them for him so that he could use them after school. So now this puts Richard in an ethical dilemma because his supervisor told him he has to file a report on both students, but Richard does not see that is necessary to file one on David, so he does not file the report on David. So the synthesis is that Richard is struggling with an ethical decision to continue to uphold district policy to suspend both David and James when David was an innocent party in the situation. So the next is the synthesis of the facts. So the people involved are Richard, the assistant principal, James, the 15-year-old boy, David, the 13-year-old boy. There was a teacher who was a witness. There's James' mother, David's mother, and the director of secondary education. This takes place at Rocket Junior High with about 900 students in a metropolitan area. And then this is a middle school with a variety of student population. There are students who were described as from the South Side who maybe get lower grades, are involved in fights, get in trouble, things like that. And then there's also honors students and everything in between. So next is prioritize information. So could the situation be damaging to stakeholders or to the community? And yes, I do believe that bias could be seen if Richard were to make the decision that he did and follow through with district policy. There could be bias seen on either one of those with his decision. What individuals or groups have an important stake in the outcome? the people involved are students, parents, and administrators. Have all the relevant stakeholders been consulted? I believe at this time they have. Can I learn more about the situation? I do believe that this situation does need further investigation into the incident to help make a final decision. And then, do I know enough to make a decision? And I would say no, at this time I do not know enough to make a decision. And so some options and possible consequences. If Richard were to take no action and not follow the district policy, or just take no action at all, it could be detrimental to not only him, but the school as a whole, James and David. It could be detrimental to all parties involved. If he took some comprehensive action, so involving the witnesses, head principal, and students, that could be a little bit better. And then some intermediate strategies would to be involve the head administrator, a team of administrators, or the director of secondary education. So some options. The first option would be to file a disciplinary referral. So some pros for this would be that if the disciplinary referral is filed, then for David, then the district policy is being upheld, and that is what Richard's supervisor is asking him to do. However, a con for this is if they do that, then David's unblemished school record is harmed, and he may not have even been involved in it, but we don't know that without future or further investigation. So if administration does decide to file a disciplinary referral on David, they might lose the trust of some of their staff and students in the school, and then the integrity of the school could be put at risk by making this decision. So another option is to not file a disciplinary referral. So if Richard chooses not to file the disciplinary referral, he is following what the director of secondary education does not want him to do. But if he successfully communicates his case to them, then he could be seen as he would be advocating for his students. A con for this, that if he does not file the referral, then he will receive an official reprimand, and the integrity of the school could be questioned. And so if he does not file the disciplinary referral, he could be seen as modeling good ethical decision-making skills for students, and they could also feel like they trust their administration. So I believe the best option would be that Richard should ask the director of secondary education for more time to investigate the incident. This way he can cover all of his bases. He can thoroughly talk to individual parties involved and make sure that he has all the necessary information before making a decision. Next, I think he should talk to the witnesses and people that David are associated with, as well as his parents. So this would be necessary to see maybe if the weapon was something that David could even have access to or be able to get, and then investigate if there's some reason maybe why he would have even needed this if he were to have it. And then Richard should also meet with James again, like individually, to ensure that the weapon is his and that he is telling the truth. He wasn't just standing up for David for some reason or another. He should just speak with James individually to make sure that his story is solid in what he is saying. After this, I think that Richard should thoroughly interview go through all of the interviews. If any other information arises, Richard should follow up on those. Those could be things like posts on social media. If some friends were talking about brass knuckles that James was going to use at school, they should look into those, school gossip, community gossip, or anything in between. And Richard should thoroughly investigate all of this information to make sure that he can make a solid final decision. So in implementing the decision, I think first Richard should gain approval for further investigation. So he shouldn't make his decision right away. He should further investigate it. Once he has done that, he should speak with each individual party. So David individually, James individually, and so on and so forth. And then after, he should speak with the teacher that witnessed the incident, and then speak with the parents of each party, speak with the friends and students that were involved with each party, so friends, those kind of people. And then he should make sure that he's recording all these final findings and analyzing the situation. Once he has done that and has all of the information, he should present his findings to the director of secondary education. And then hopefully with his assistance, Richard and him could come to a final decision on what is best for the students and the school. So for reflection, I feel like many times during our job, we're faced with difficult decisions, whether they be big ethical decisions or just little ones or anything in between. There are times where following the rules just don't seem right for the situation, and it all depends on what you view as right or wrong. In this case, David was threatened into a situation that he did not want to be involved in, and if Richard were to follow the rules without questioning them, it could have jeopardized a lot for David. I do believe that if Richard were to investigate the situation more and help with the help of the director of secondary education, then he wouldn't have gotten to the point where he was going to receive an official reprimand. Maybe something else could have been settled. Thank you.